So everything's crammed into one Asana team and it's chaos. Again, I've seen this same mistake so many times. I could probably spot it with my eyes closed just based on how stressed someone sounds when they talk about finding the client onboarding template or figuring out which project is active right now. Hi, I'm Samantha, here to help online coaches, freelancers, and other small service-based entrepreneurs organize and streamline their business operations so that they can save time and mental energy and focus on what they love to do. So if you ever opened up your Asana workspace and just felt the weight of everything piling up on your shoulders, you are not alone. And it's probably not your fault. Like, you're not bad at organizing, you're just doing your best with a setup that kind of sets you up to fail. Especially if no one showed you what Asana can do beyond the default stuff. But there is one fix that solves a lot of the mess. That is using multiple teams. Not one catch-all team labeled my team with 30 unruly projects underneath, actual separate organized teams. And I get it, Asana kind of hides this feature. It's not obvious when you're just trying to make things work, but this one change can seriously help your brain breathe. So let's zoom out for a second and look at how most people get here. So you sign up for Asana. Asana auto creates your first team for you and calls it Sam's first team, or whatever your name actually is. Then you start adding your projects and it works. At first, you've got a project for onboarding, maybe a few of your different offers, one for that launch you're planning, and another for client deliverables. Maybe your VA adds on a couple more. Oh, and of course, you grab some of Asana's generic templates that you never actually use. And suddenly, that one team has like 19 projects inside of it. Some are half done, some are completely abandoned, some are still active, but buried 3 scrolls down. It's like using one giant filing cabinet drawer for all your taxes, your journals, your coupons, your childhood artwork, and your random business notes. You can shove all that stuff in there, but it's not exactly easy to navigate. What I see happen next is people start feeling resentful toward Asana, or they stop trusting it. Because when everything's in one place, it stops feeling like a trusted system, and it starts feeling like one more thing to babysit. You log in, and instead of seeing a clear next step, you get hit with, wait, where did I put that link? Is this task still relevant? Wasn't there a draft in here somewhere? Why is this showing up in my inbox again? And maybe you've even caught yourself thinking that you should just start fresh or try ClickUp instead. Or maybe tools like this just don't work for you. None of that is your fault, and it's not Asana's fault either. And switching tools is not going to solve this problem. Now, the tricky part is that Asana kind of encourages this when you first start. So when you sign up, you get a workspace and that one team, and that first team becomes the container for everything. And unless someone tells you otherwise, it's easy to assume that that's just how it works. You don't realize you're allowed to have more teams, or that you can and should break things out. But that one change, giving yourself permission to create multiple teams, it unlocks so much clarity and calm. Also, quick pause to thank Whisperflow for sponsoring this video. If you've ever tried to get something out of your head and into your notes app, but your hands are full, or you're just not in the mood to type out a long-winded explanation, you're going to love this. So Whisperflow is a voice-powered writing app that lets you talk things out really quietly sometimes and still get perfect writing from it. I know for me, there are times when I want to get through something fast, like a content outline, a task breakdown, or even just a messy brain dump, but I don't necessarily want to sit and type out a novel on my phone, especially if my family's around or my kiddo's in the next room trying to sleep, or I'm just not in the kind of space where I want to be talking loudly into my notes app. With Whisperflow, you can speak softly, even a whisper, and it still works. It's designed for those low voice, let me just get this out moments. You just talk and it turns your thoughts into clear, usable writing. I've used it for planning launches, outlining YouTube videos, and even processing random business ideas while walking to get coffee. So if you're someone who thinks better out loud but doesn't always want to talk to your phone like it's a podcast mic, try Whisper Flow. I myself am a huge fan. Download it and try it out for yourself. You can get a free month of pro features through my link right here. Okay, so let's talk about what to do instead of that overloaded one team for everything Asana setup. So here's what I recommend and what I do inside my own Asana. So instead of one big messy team, create structure that reflects the actual categories of your business. It doesn't have to be actual separate teams that exist in your business, because if you're here, that likely means you're a small business owner and you're not going to have a giant company full of different teams, right? So instead, think in terms of categories like clients, offers, operations, marketing, personal even. So for example, you could have a separate team for all your client projects to live if you're doing retainer work or one-to-one services. A team for your products and services if you have multiple revenue streams like a course, a workshop, membership, or coaching. A team for operations where you keep your SOPs, expense tracking, and brand files. And a personal team, one that's just for you. You can brain dump in there, plan your own schedule, plan vacations, whatever you need. The idea is every team is a container. Each one holds relevant projects and only the relevant ones. Clean, it's organized, it lets your brain know where things live. You can also use different privacy settings for each team if you're on one of the paid plans. So if you need to invite a contractor or a client to see something, you're not exposing them to your entire business in the process, just their little corner. This isn't just about being organized, it's about reducing friction. When you reduce friction in your systems, you give your brain less to track, less to remember, less to worry about, and that over time adds up to so much more energy. Let's say you've got a new client, a new lead, a new product launch, some ongoing marketing, and you just brought on a new team member. If you're still operating out of a single team, you probably do something like this. You create a new project for onboarding your new client, you add a few tasks, assign them out, maybe duplicate an old project to reuse the structure. And then a few days later, you realize you also need a place for your deliverables. So you make another project, you call it current work, and then a third one, which you call marketing campaigns, and then a fourth one, which you call new team member onboarding. It doesn't take long before your team is filled with 10 plus projects, all using different names and all jumbled up together. Now, every time you want to check in on different aspects of your business, whether it's a client's status, a new lead's progress, or your latest product launch, or ongoing marketing efforts, you have to remember what you named each project, what stage they're in, and whether or not they're still active. But if you'd created a team for each of those categories, all of that stuff would be in a neat, dedicated space. It's like giving each aspect of your business its own labeled folder instead of tossing everything into one communal box. This setup isn't just about feeling fancy, it actually scales with you. Because as your business grows and you bring on more clients or add more offers, your system doesn't break, it expands. You're not constantly redoing things, you're just duplicating what works. It gives you a system you can actually trust, one that helps you focus on your work instead of getting stuck managing your to-do list. And if this kind of clean structure sounds dreamy, but the execution feels overwhelming, I get it. That's actually why I made Asana Essentials. It's the ultimate toolkit for getting your Asana account organized, just how I'm explaining. You'll see how I use teams, how I name my projects, how I track what matters. It's simple, but it's solid. And it's been a huge relief, not just logistically, but emotionally. So whenever you're ready, you can check it out. The link is in the description, or you can click up here. So yeah, the number one mistake I see in client setups is trying to make one team do it all. It feels efficient until it isn't, until it starts leaking time and attention in 100 little ways. Now, Asana gives you unlimited teams for a reason. It's okay to use them. You don't need to have a big business to have clean systems. You just need systems that work for you. Split things up, make space for clarity, give yourself fewer clicks, fewer headaches, and more, oh, that was easy moments. And if you're watching this while avoiding your Asana account altogether, no shame. But maybe just try making that first new team today. Name it clients and just move your client projects that you already created over to it. Just see what it's like to give one piece of your business a cleaner home. You might be surprised how much lighter things feel just from that one shift. If you've ever battled a chaotic Asana setup, share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear what you've seen or what you've done. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.